Hydraulic fracturing, or fracking, is a controversial topic these days, not only in western North Dakota's oil patch where it's being practiced, but elsewhere in the country as well. With us this evening is the CEO of Breitling Oil and Gas, Chris Faulkner, and Michael Brune, the Executive Director of the Sierra Club. Well, I want to ask you each about the safety of fracking, beginning with you, Chris. Tell us briefly, if you would, what fracking is first.
Well, it's a procedure that occurs at the very end of the drilling process. And when we drill the well to total depth, usually we're several miles below the surface, and we go into that well because it's very tight down there, and naturally the oil and gas will not flow without fracking stimulation. So what takes place is water and sand, which acts as a proppant to hold open the formation, is shot and injected down, and when it hits that formation, it cracks open, and a little bit of chemical that's mixed into there acts as a lubricant to move the sand into the formation. And what does that do? It allows for trapped hydrocarbons, oil and natural gas, to flow to the surface. But essentially, you could say the key to this entire treasure trove of natural gas and oil is this idea of fracking. It's been around since the 40s, but since the mid-80s, when it was combined with horizontal drilling, or the ability to drill sideways, all of these reservoirs of oil and gas became producible, and it's what's putting America on the map as an energy exporter in the near term, and the idea that we can be self-sufficient here in domestic America in near term.
Is it safe, Chris?
It is safe, and it's regulated. And that's what a lot of environmentalists don't want to tell you, is that it's unregulated, it's unsafe, and unproven. The reality is that all of those things are untruthful. University of Texas has taken studies, Duke University, even the Pacific Institute, which is an environmentalist focused agency, has taken their own data, and they say we can find no examples of groundwater contamination. Even Lisa Jackson, the ex-head of the EPA, 2 months ago upon leaving, made a quote. That quote was in the Wall Street Journal that said the EPA can find no examples of water contamination due to fracking. 1.5 million wells have been fracked in the United States since the 40s. We have not heard of 1.5 million examples of contamination. That tells me the procedure is safe.
Michael, is it safe?
No, it's not. And a lot of what you just heard is not true. What I will say is that it's an impressive process, that we have the engineering capability to drill so far underneath the surface of the earth. But what we have to acknowledge is that there are real risks that are posed to our air and water quality. Duke University, which was just cited, documented more than 1,200 cases of water contamination. In Wyoming, what has already been documented by EPA is another case of water contamination, but even worse, air quality that's worse than what it is in Los Angeles. And so what we have to recognize is that there are real problems posed by fracking. Simply denying that these problems exist is no way to solve them. We have to be able to make sure that we are investing in energy sources that are safe, secure, and sustainable. We should not be sacrificing our air, our water, the quality of our lives simply to produce another fossil fuel.
Michael, we found out here in North Dakota just yesterday that there's probably twice as much oil under the ground as we thought. There's probably 3 times as much natural gas as we thought. How do you put that genie back into the bottle?
Well, you don't. And let's be really clear. There are economic opportunities that are being offered by oil and gas. But what is also clear, should be acknowledged, is that there are greater economic opportunities being offered by solar and wind. In North Dakota right now, there's more wind resources to power not just the state of North Dakota, but the entire country.
Well, I wish we had more time to talk. I hope you'll both come back and see us again. It's very interesting to see you sitting side by side, and I hope you'll come back and do it again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris Faulkner of Breitling Oil and Gas and Michael Brune of the Sierra Club. And we'll be right back.